That chilling tale was from a popular channel, and now it is time to delve into our own version. It was a cold December night in 1992 when Marty Weiss finished his daily prayers. His wife, Sarah, stood by the window of their modest two-story house in the close-knit Orthodox Jewish neighborhood of Kiryas Shalom in upstate New York. They were blessed with two beautiful kids, 9-year-old Rivka and 6-year-old Eliyahu. "Marty," she said softly, her tone laced with concern. The children were asleep upstairs, their dreams filled with visions of sugar plums and dreidels. Suddenly, the power went out, plunging the house into darkness. Birds tweeted nervously, their songs echoing the fear that gripped the community. Some spoke of a family secret, others of a planned escape. But as days turned into weeks with no answers, fear morphed into despair. Had Sarah taken the children away, unable to bear the weight of her marriage? Or was there something more sinister lurking beneath the surface, something that the police had failed to uncover? Then there were the townspeople who swore they heard strange sounds emanating from the Weiss's house. Whispers in the dead of night, children's laughter echoing from the locked bedrooms. Some even spoke of seeing shadowy figures darting across the lawn, always at the edge of one's vision. Then there was the unsettling calm that had descended upon the house, a silence so profound it felt like a physical presence, like the family had never really left. All these years later, the Weiss's house stood as a silent sentinel, its windows vacant eyes staring blankly ahead. The community of Kiryas Shalom continued its daily routines, but the specter of the Weiss family loomed over everything, an unspoken grief that refused to be buried. The Weiss family had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions that echoed in the cold halls of their abandoned home. Over the years, investigators pursued every lead, every odd tip that trickled in. But each avenue led to a dead end, mirroring the empty stare of the missing persons poster that hung on the Weiss's front door. With time, the media spotlight faded, but in the close quarters of Kiryas Shalom, the Weiss case never truly went away. It lingered in the hushed tones of late-night conversations, in the furtive glances exchanged at the mention of the missing family. It was Hanukkah, a day of joy and celebration, but for the Weiss family, it was a day of disappearance. The house was quiet, the aroma of burnt logs still lingering in the air. Sarah's sister, Rachel, arrived to find the house empty, the doors unlocked, and a sense of dread settling in her heart. She called out for her sister, her voice trembling. No answer. She checked the bedrooms, the living room, the kitchen, each corner holding only an echo of the family's absence. On the table, next to the half-finished game of dreidel, sat a note. The shaky handwriting sent shivers down Rachel's spine. "We are leaving, Sarah. Don't look for us." The note was unsigned, the words tearing at Rachel's already frayed nerves. Had Sarah taken the children away, abandoning her responsibilities? Or was there something more sinister at play? She dialed 911, her voice choked with fear as she reported the missing family. The call echoed in the operator's ears, a prelude to a mystery that would haunt the community for years. "Oh, the circuit breaker," Sarah said, rushing to the kitchen. Marty followed, his senses heightened. A storm was brewing outside, wind howling like a wounded beast. As Sarah reset the breaker, Marty felt a wave of panic rise within him. What if this was it? What if his dark thoughts were becoming reality? He gripped Sarah's hand tightly, his knuckles turning white. "It's okay, Marty," she whispered, sensing his fear. "It's just a power cut. It will be fixed soon." But he couldn't shake off the feeling of dread that seemed to be seeping into every corner of their home. She placed a hand on his arm, drawing him back to the present. "Are you all right? You seem troubled." Startled, they froze. Who could it be at this hour? The knock came again, insistent, demanding attention. Marty cautiously approached the door, each step echoing in the sudden silence. Peering through the peephole, he saw a stranger, tall and imposing, his face obscured by the shadows of his hood. Before Maudie could respond, the doorknob started to turn. Panic surged through him. Was this the manifestation of his darkest fears? Sarah's screams echoed in the darkness as the door burst open and a mysterious figure stepped in. "Who are you?" Maudie demanded, stepping in front of Sarah, shielding her with his body. The intruder didn't answer. He advanced slowly, his face still hidden, but his eyes, those were visible, cold and emotionless, devoid of any humanity. Sarah screamed again, this time in terror. The children stirred in their beds, their innocent sleep disturbed by their parents' fear. The stranger reached out, his fingers long and skeletal, and clutched Maudie's shirt. Maudie recoiled, struggling against the grip that seemed to be draining the life out of him. "Help," he gasped, the word catching in his throat. The last thing he remembered was the stranger's icy breath on his neck, whispering words he couldn't understand before everything went black. He hesitated, the weight of his thoughts pressing down on him. Finally, he met her gaze, the flickering candlelight reflecting in his eyes. "I'm fine, Sarah," he murmured, forcing a smile, just thinking about the upcoming holiday. Relief washed over her face, but it didn't reach her eyes. She knew him too well. There was more than met the eye. Still, she chose not to push. Instead, she squeezed his arm gently, offering a reassuring smile. "Come, help me with the locks," she said. "We have much to prepare for the family." He nodded, grateful for the distraction. Together, they chopped potatoes, onions, fried the lox, their movements in sync after all those years of marriage. But the easy camaraderie couldn't fully mask the tension that had entered their home. That night, after tucking their kids into bed, Maudie and Sarah prepared for the upcoming Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. They were excited. Every year, Sarah would make her famous lox, and the house would fill with the aroma of fried potato pancakes. This year, however, something was different. A sense of unease hung in the air, unspoken but heavy between them. For weeks, Maudie had been consumed by a topic he stumbled upon in his historical research. Ancient texts hinted at a forgotten sect of Judaism that practiced a form of human sacrifice. Their rituals spoke of removing an individual's soul from their body, transferring it to another realm. Maudie, an intellectual at heart, had initially dismissed these accounts as superstitious folklore. But lately, the idea had wormed its way into his thoughts, twisting and growing. Tonight, as Sarah hummed a Hanukkah tune, Maudie found himself fixated on the calendar, counting down the days until the holiday. He knew Sarah would never approve of his research, so he kept it hidden, buried deep in his study. But tonight, he could feel her watching him, sensing his turmoil. He could see the worry in her eyes, the silent question marks in the air. The thought of losing his beloved Sarah, of her leaving him, sent a chill down his spine. It was the fear he'd always dreaded. Suddenly, Sarah broke the silence. As night fell, the aroma of lox mingled with the scent of burning candles and spices. When the lights flickered back on, they heard a noise, a knock at the door. The next morning, the rising sun cast an eerie glow over the neighborhood. As news of the disappearances spread through the tight-knit community, whispers replaced prayers. Theories abounded. In the quiet moments of her solitude, Rachel wondered about her sister's decision.